Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Lure Fishing Project. Thanks for tuning in again. This is day 4 of Hobie Week, and this week we're off to the mighty Forster. I love Forster so much, although it just seems to keep just pushing me down, down, down. Anyway, having said that, some great stories to come out of this one. Very, very exciting to see Brendan up the top and taking the win. So that was definitely one of the cool things to come out of it. All right, let's roll the intros and we'll tell you what's crack-a-lackin' at Forster this year.
Welcome to the Lure Fishing Project, where Australia's best lure anglers share their tips and stories to help you catch more fish and have more fun on the water. Here's your host, Andrew D.
All right, so this was the one up in May, 2nd and 3rd of 2026. And Forster, as everyone knows, one of my favourite locations in all of Australia. I had a couple of things lined up. I had a week's holiday booked in after this, and I'll tell you about that probably at the end of the show. But don't hold your breath because it's not that exciting. Anyway, let's get into the competition details. So for this one on the Saturday, we had 95 in the fish activity wheel. So you'd think that is going to be an absolutely cracking session. Certainly didn't pan out that way, and So anyway, 95 in the fish activity, minor bite period at 6:04 through to 7:34 a.m. with a major bite period at 10:45 a.m. to 1:15 p.m. High tide was at 8:48 at 1.26, running down to a low at 2:30 p.m. at 0.37. On Sunday, just backed off a little bit at 85 in the fish activity wheel, 7:02 a.m. through to 8:32 for the minor bite period. And then the major bite period at 11:33 through to 2:03 p.m. High tide was at 9:25 at 1.21, running down to a low tide at 3:05 p.m. at 0.42. Look, the good thing about this comp is the tides in terms of kayaks fishing out of the harbour there at Forster. Tides were perfect. We got to push up on the way up. We got to push on the way back. I think I mentioned in one of the interviews that I wasn't nearly as tired just physically after the weekend as what I normally would be after fishing Forster. Anyway, all right, let's jump straight into this one. Let's get into the angler interviews. Here we go. Okay, so first up in third place, we have an angler dropping his 3 fish on the Saturday for a big bag of 2.14. Day 2, 3 fish for 1.11, giving him a total of 6 fish for 3.25. And third place, I'd like to welcome back to the Bream Fishing Project, Mr. Ryan Honeybrook. Welcome back, mate.
Thanks, mate. Thank you very much.
Mate, before we get into it, mate, that was a cracking bag on Saturday, especially given the conditions.
Yeah, no, I was pretty happy with the Saturday one. It's probably not the standard Foster size that you'd imagine coming back in, but it wasn't until I was coming back in and speaking to a few people that I sort of went, you know what, I think this actually is a pretty good bag.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a standout in terms of the weekend. All right, mate, for this one, so you've done all right in Forster before. Tell us, what did you do for pre-fish for this one?
Nothing for pre-fish, to be honest. I'd have to thank Rick King for making me work at his house.
Okay.
So yeah, Friday morning I was spent doing a deck out the back of Rick's place
Yeah,
around
okay.
his new pool he's getting done. So spent that, and while I was slaving away, I'd like to call it, doing his deck, he was packing the kayaks and ready to go. And so he was off and out of there, and I was still at his place working.
Okay, fair
Yeah,
enough. Well,
so
mate, but no
finished up
pre-fish.
there. Yeah, no pre-fish, finished up there and back home, picked up the wife and little one, and off we went. And didn't get up there until probably 3:30, 4 o'clock, 3:30 I'd say.
Yeah, okay. Were you tempted to jump on the water?
Yes, but no. I got pretty smashed. I had vertigo as well over that weekend, so
Oh,
it was a bit of a wild one. So I was pretty happy to get there and go have some dinner and go to bed, to be honest.
yeah, wow. I don't know how vertigo goes in a kayak, mate.
It wasn't the best, and yeah, I managed to get through. Through the day, I was fine. It was mainly the mornings that hit me, so I was pretty good once I was out, up and moving in the morning.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. All right. Well, let's roll straight into comp day because, like I said, your bag was a standout bag for this competition. Yeah, tell us what you got up to.
Yeah, so pretty much Foster, I know it fairly well. And just had a plan. I was just going to do my sort of milk run that I do and figure it out as I go. It's not the biggest, oh, it's a big waterway, but spots I like, I know I can sort of get to all in one day. So that was the plan pretty much. Just head off and start at the first set of racks you see, which is the paddock. So
Yeah, okay.
straight off and yeah, straight down and just straight onto the poles and crack away.
Fair enough. All right. Well, how long did it take you to start catching a couple of bream?
Um, a fair bit to be honest. I'll probably so it's only what 5-10 minutes to those racks at the front there, not even 5 minutes.
Mm,
Um, got there and started hitting sort of ones towards the left hand side that I like. Hit the whole outer edge, just throwing crabby on a hidden weight jig head.
okay.
Um, just working all that, just the outer poles mainly is what I was targeting,
Yeah.
knowing the water was sort of coming up and it was all over the shot really, to be honest. But that was the plan, just hit the outer poles and went past 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I was still going, all right, this is a bit weird. I could see them, but yeah, just couldn't get them to bite.
Really?
Yeah, so I went, I sort of, I got up there for Christmas for 2 weeks and spend 2 weeks on the water there pretty much every day I'll be out. And I found one section over the Christmas time where a boat had actually hit some poles and pushed
Oh,
them down so you could get into a section that I used to be able to get into many years ago, but they've blocked it off as you can't get in there.
yeah.
And I found you could get in there.
Okay.
And so I was in there fishing for flathead and over Christmas time and I was just watching brim swim out from all these rails. And I put that in the mental bank. And so,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, hit all sections of racks down the bottom there and then went, you know what? I'm going in there. So went straight in there. It probably was closer to 9 o'clock by the time I sort of worked my way into that section. Still down in the paddock and yeah, didn't take long once I got in there.
Okay.
So I got in there and I think it was 9 and by 10 o'clock I had my 3 fish that I ended up keeping in the bag at the end of the
Really?
day. Yeah.
Really? And are they all come on crabbies?
Yes. No, sorry. Aquas and crabbies.
Aquas and crabbies.
Yeah. Alternate
Right.
between the two. I have them pretty much both laying on the deck ready. But that's really all I threw. I did get a couple on cranks as well, but only smaller fish.
Mm,
But yeah, so went in there and it's a, I guess it's a deeper section of rails. So all
mhm.
the fish that are on the flats all around and the shallower sections, I sort of figured that I knew this water was going to be dropping away. And with the tides at Forster, even though the current's coming in, the water level's already dropping and all
Yeah.
that, I sort of went, I know if I'm in there, they've got to move off and they should sit on these rails, bit deeper
Yeah.
water and funnel into there. And it sort of is a little channel, I guess, in
Yeah.
between two flats and everything. So it's sort of all lined up quite nice with the
And
tides.
but how gnarly was it then? Was it in structure where if you got a bite you had to kind of rip them out or
Yeah, yeah. I was in between, so it's solid poles and then solid rails, and then
yeah.
just the boat width in between. And I was in between those, just no trays on these ones. Just they
Okay.
were just the old timber poles with rails all the way around it.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, so once the tide drops away, those rails are above the water.
Hmm.
But yeah, so all morning I could just stand up and just do a drift along and just float over the top of them. And
Yeah.
I was casting 2 and 3 rows across and hanging on and lost a couple doing it that way.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so I got in there and got my first fish and sort of did a lap up. There's 2 sections, I'd say you'd call it, divided by a wall of like big timber poles.
Okay.
I got dusted by one fish off those timber poles because it was sort of you had to cast over a set of rails to the timber poles, and there wasn't a boat width in between the timber poles and the rails.
Okay.
So I was sort of throwing a cast in there, going, I know what the result's going to be, but I may as well give it a crack.
Yeah, you never know. Sometimes they come out.
Yeah, and I got pulled one out from that way,
Yeah.
and yeah, they all the fish was just sort of in there. I could see them swimming in there with the clear water. I knew they were there, and the longer I was in there, the further away I had to cast to get a bite.
Okay.
When I first got in there, I could sort of pitch casting close to me and they were eating.
Yeah.
And then just over the next hour or two, it was get that cast further and further. And I think that's why I sort of lost more fish towards the end because I had so much line out.
Yeah. And
So,
what sort of rig were you using to try and get these fish out? Like what sort of
so I got
rod and
a,
reel?
the 681 671 LX in feet. It's
Okay.
the Chris Hickson rack rod that he's designed, the EX,
Yeah.
and I've got a 3000 Abu Garcia on that to just the Abu Garcia's got a really high gear ratio.
Yeah. And with that Abu, I'm not familiar with the reel. Has it got a big handle on it?
Yeah, not overly, not a
Yeah.
massive, not a massive. It's just got the T piece one, but it's a bigger one for a 3000 size reel, you would say.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
So
Yeah.
it's not too heavy that you're throwing it all day, and it's like a big heavy rod, like when you're throwing a big 10-inch plastic for flathead in there.
Yeah.
But it's still finesse enough to class those small little crabbies a fair distance away and rip them out in 10-pound leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, lock drag pretty much where I can't pull drag off the reel, so
Okay. Yeah. That's good enough.
yeah,
Well, there you go. And you said you lost one. We spoke before. Was that the one you just spoke about?
yeah. So I've pushed up and around, and I saw Mick Aquilina. He landed a big flathead on the other side of the racks where I was, and yeah, we we're fishing. He was on the outside, I was on the inside, and I saw him hook up, and I pitched a crabby out and sunk down and felt the clunk, and I set into it pretty hard, harder than I probably should have, but I set into it pretty hard, and I was standing up. I went, oh, all right, it's a good one, and got it away, and it was in the middle between the two rails. I went, sweet. And it wasn't until I sort of got it right up that I looked and went, oh, like that's a proper one. It's big head, big body, big dark tail on it. Like it's a really good one. And yeah, I had leader on the rod, so the leader was
Yeah.
close enough, and I've bent down to pick up the net because there was not a chance I was boat flipping this one in. It was a proper
Yes.
one, a kilo plus easy. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
you just know it when you see them in there, and they're just those big fish turn up on their side. And as I've bent down, it's gone for a lunge, and yeah, when there's rails and poles and everything, your instinct is to pull back, and so I did. And with my full body weight of standing up at the same time with the rod, I've just straightened a heavy gauge jig head hood straight out of its mouth.
Ouch.
So
Yeah.
it turned its head, and then right as it's turned its head, obviously the right angle as it
Yeah.
looked back at me, and the jig head just, it didn't even like, I wouldn't say like fling out past me, like it literally just slid out of its mouth straight and come back in,
Um,
and it was, yeah, the hook was nearly straight.
oh no.
So yeah, it didn't hurt at the time
Okay.
as bad as I thought, but after the weigh in on Sunday and then remembering back to it, I went, yeah, that was the fish right there.
Yeah, that was the one. Yeah, I
Yeah,
often wonder when you drop a big one when you're in a comp, you go, "Is that the one? Is that the
yeah,
one?"
yeah. That would have only been probably maybe I would have had two fish in the bag, so that would have been my third fish
Hmm.
if I had a hook. Like that was my third proper bite that I got in there,
Yeah,
and so that would have been nice to fill the bag with one of those. And I had probably I had one of the other ones was in the bag, stayed in the bag, and then I had a small one that I eventually upgraded. So
sure.
yeah, it would have made them all look small.
Yeah, okay. Oh, well, that's it. Sometimes I like to win them. Sometimes everything's got to go perfect.
Yes, everything's got to go perfect and happen for you. And yeah, once it swam away, I went, yeah, that's not good. But I could see them in there. They were there. There was more of them. That's that caliber swimming
Sure.
around.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, they're just very not skittish or spookish. Just like they were cautious. They would come out like when I'd throw a lure out, I could see it land, and like the water's so clear there.
Yeah.
You put a good cast in, and you can see the silver flash as they come out and then turn back on it away. So it wasn't like they were spookish that as soon as it lands they swim away. It was landing, sinking. They'd come and look and then turn off and swim away.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, it was more of just how cautious they were. And yeah, I don't know. I tried. giving it a shake. I tried really just dead sticking it. I tried
Okay.
lots of things, but yeah, nothing seemed to get the bigger ones to bite.
To bite. And was there a trend more towards an acro or a gulp?
Um, Not from memory, no. It was pretty 50-50. When the wind sort of got up that little bit, it was more the aqua purely because I had more feel on it
Okay.
because it's that little bit denser, that sinks that little bit quicker, and
Yeah.
I had a bit of a lighter setup on that with the aqua, so
Okay.
I had a bit more feel to it. And the
Yeah.
crabby was sort of I couldn't get it to sink straight down beside the rails because that breeze would push your line away and make it pull away that little bit too far.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Okay.
did notice on Saturday a lot of the bites were when the lure was sitting on the bottom.
Yeah.
It wasn't on the way down. It was like I'd see it sink and I'd know it'd be sitting on the bottom. Especially with the aqua, you could see it. You could see the white speckle going all the way down to the bottom. And I
Yeah.
could see it sitting on the bottom. And then I'd feel the bite and the white would disappear.
Yeah. Right.
Like
You
they'd
didn't
come
see
over
the
and,
fish.
yeah, they'd come over and pick it up. So,
Sneaky.
yeah, it was, yeah, that probably towards the end of the day, it was more the aqua.
Yeah.
But on Saturday, I did sort of, once I got those fish and sort of, that was probably by 11-ish.
Yeah.
Like it all happened in yeah, such a short window from
Okay.
sort of 9 o'clock onwards till 10:30, 11. Then I sort of went, all right, I've got three decent ones. And I had all my fish that stayed in the bag. I went, I'm just going to go to some other spots I know that have hold big fish and just try and crack another big one.
Try and crack a big one.
And
100%.
the few people that I had heard that have pedaled past and I'd spoken to, they were all saying it was quiet. And so in the back of my mind as well, I said, if they are, those bigger ones are here, I don't want to burn through them,
Yeah.
especially because the bags don't seem to be as big from what everyone's coming past and saying.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
So
We,
yeah, punched it up the back.
yeah. Okay. I was going to say you like to travel.
Yes.
Wow.
From, yeah, it's
Wow.
probably from 11 o'clock. It's probably when I got my last bite and then left and punched it all the way up there and fished all around there. Fished
Mm.
towards Larney's, those racks, and just, I don't know, it just didn't feel right. I don't know if it was the tide. I think it was the tide timing up there.
Yeah. I was going to say at 11 o'clock, did you go up on the tide or you
Yeah, I went
already?
up on that very last bit of that tide.
Yeah. That's what I would have thought.
Yeah,
And
and I
then,
made sure that
mm,
was my plan. I went, I know how hard it runs here, and I'm not, I'm not pedaling against it. So I pretty much worked with it. And when I got up there, it was right on the slack. So I think that's why I didn't get many bites. Would have probably needed to wait another hour for that tide to pick up. Then they might
yeah.
have turned on.
Yeah. No, that sounds about right. All right. Well, look, it was enough to bring you back in first place with 2.14. Tell us about Sunday, mate. What was the plan? Rinse and repeat?
Yeah. So after leading on the Georges River last year as well, and sort of not trusting my gut of going to where I found fish and just staying there until they turn on. I went, I've learnt my lesson once, so let's not do it again. So I went straight back to where I was, the spot I had to get in, sort of only a kayak width wide.
Yeah.
So I went, I just got to get there first and I'm sweet. So I punched it out straight there. And I spoke with like all the boys, Rick was and Daryl in the cabin. I said, I'm not going to get a bite until 10:30. I said, I know it. Just with the
Okay.
tides, I know that's going to happen in there because the fish aren't really going to be in that section until then. And with the day before 9 o'clock, it wasn't until I got a bite hour later with the tide. I said, I've just got to hold out that 9:30, 10 o'clock. It's not till I'm going to get a bite. And yeah, when I'm watching Blake, a set of racks across, pulling three fish, and I haven't had a bite
Oh,
at 8:30, I'm going, oh, don't, don't do it, don't do it, don't leave. No one else seems to be on bigger fish, so it's not like
yeah.
I'm hunting for them elsewhere.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I stuck it out. Um, 9 o'clock come, still hadn't got a bite. And I was like, oh, yeah, right, this is hurting. The young one rang on the phone asking to see the fish in the live well, and I had to show him the empty live well, so that one hurt even more.
Oh,
And yeah, I'm like, oh, I've got to do something,
Okay.
but almost too perfect in there. Like I had not a ripple on the surface, nothing. Um, and yeah, so probably I'd say 9:30, 10 o'clock it was, and I still hadn't got a bite. And I was looking down towards the bridge, and I could see a ripple on the water
Mm.
down by the bridge from that nor'easter starting to push its way in. And I looked at the time, 10 o'clock, the wind's coming, surely. And yeah, the wind hit, like that little breeze hit before the stronger breeze picked up.
Mm.
Actually, no, I did leave. I did tell a lie, I did leave. I pedaled
Yeah.
over to a set of floating racks and I saw heaps of fish on Saturday
Okay.
on the way up to the back, which was only a 5 minute pedal. Um, and couldn't get a fish there. And even there, they weren't, I couldn't see them where, like I saw them, and I pulled two little fish off them on the Saturday, but couldn't get one. I went, all right, just go back, do it. So I pedaled straight back into those set of racks, and the breeze had picked up that little bit. I stood up, bang, I spotted three fish, spooked them straight off the rail. I
Okay.
said, all right, that's better. They're slowly moving in, and there's a bit of a section in between a flat where water funnels in through on the tide, and it sort of eddies in there. So even though it was still like it was coming in, but it was coming from the wrong angle, if that
Mm.
makes sense. And that's like a deep section. And so I sort of positioned myself there, going, well, if any fish comes in from that way, the first thing it's going to see is an aqua or a crabby. So
Yeah.
hopefully it eats.
Yep.
Yeah, the wind sort of picked up, got to, I think it was 20 past 10, I remember. Bang, first bite, straight in.
Right.
I said I was going to be 10:30 before I get a bite, and it was 10:20, I think it was.
Okay. That's
And
pretty
then
accurate.
same thing as Saturday. I think same thing as Saturday, by 11, I had three just turned on.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I
So you just
knew, I had a feeling that's what they were going to do. I was just more, I had a feeling that's what I was going to do. Sunday morning, it ended up, I was hoping that's what they were going to do.
mm.
And yeah, the wind, the tide timing, everything sort of lined up perfect. And yeah, pulled three straight away. And it was just really weird out of nowhere. You could see fish everywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
It was almost as if they were sitting off on those higher, shallower sections. And then as soon as that water had started to drop away, they'd funneled back into this little fish pond, like sort of thing, where it's that deeper section with lots of structure.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
And
and then pulled three,
same,
and
like same crabbies and
yeah, same
mackerel.
crabbies. I threw surface for a bit because that's what Blake pulled one off surface, and he yelled out, he goes, "Just throw surface then." And I went, "Okay." Threw it. I couldn't even get a raise on one. Yeah, but then yeah, it ended up all being on. I think day two was all my fish came on a crabby in the end.
All right. Well, it's interesting because I had a look through. You ended up with 1.11, and to give you an idea of the competition, there was 5 people that weighed bags of that weight over the 2 days. I
Yes,
think it's just unusual.
yes. It's weird. The fish are there. They're just a lot more cautious now. I think they it's a very heavily fished waterway, and
Yeah.
yeah, with all the changes in the racks and the rails, the fish are they've got to eat in places where there's nowhere near as much cover protection than what they have previously over the years been able to eat. So
Yeah. I think the ABT Grand Final is going to be there this year, and I think for people that are going to go up and fish that, I really think you need to go and spend a couple of days, a weekend or 3 days, just particularly in a boat, and just go around and
yes,
look for new spots because my spots just don't work anymore.
yes, yeah, it's
Like,
very much like I've been there. I think this would be my, what am I, 28? This would be my 27th year for 2 weeks at Christmas going up there.
wow.
Yeah, and the changes are just like unbelievable. I
Yeah.
go there like I go there multiple times through the year as well. My grandma lives up there, so we're always up.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, I guess people are going to have to learn how to fish, how to extract fish out of those racks
Yeah,
versus the more traditional sort of racks.
yes,
So, yeah. All right. Well, mate, all in all, you still did pretty well. Like you ended
yeah,
up third place and only one, half decent upgrade from first. So, not far off the money. Tell us, what did you get to take home for third place?
Nice another trophy, which is good. Get to put it beside my other third place trophy from last year for Forster. So there's two matching ones side by side.
That's pretty good.
Um, an AC spot, I'm pretty sure as well,
Yep,
which is good
most
because I'm
likely.
pretty sure, yeah, Crevitt would have got in, and I'm pretty sure Pieschel would have had a spot from Marlow. So
Yeah,
AC spot by the looks of that as well. And to be honest, I can't remember how much it was.
probably
S-
six
s-
fifty, six
yeah,
fifty five. I
yeah,
reckon.
650 odd or something like that. Yep,
Yep.
sounds about right.
Yeah. And then I assume you got a bag of presents as well.
And a nice little bag of goodies, yeah. So there's a couple of lures that I burnt through on the weekend in there, and so it'll be good to straighten the tackle box and getting some good use out of all those.
Yeah, 100%. All right, mate, last thing before we shoot off, is there anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Just mainly Steve from Tackle Addiction.
Okay.
Helps us out, just does a great job, has everything when we want it. Yeah, Rick puts him through hell with getting everything, and so I just leave it to Rick. I message Rick, so then Rick's on his bad side for sending it in, but he's happy. You send him a message. If he's there, he'll bring it. If he's not there, he'll get it to someone that can bring it. And yeah, just mainly Steve from Tackle Addiction.
Oh, very, very good. All right, mate. Well, look, hey, congratulations on another good result. I would take 2/3 if it was offered to me.
Yeah,
And yeah, hopefully you go all right in the next couple of rounds. I think we've got an AFT on Georges and another
yeah,
Hobie as well on the
I
Georges.
think Hobie on the Georges will be my next one, and that possibly will be my last one for the year. Got some house renovations starting, so they might have to take priority, I think, for the rest of the year, but we'll
Oh,
see how we go.
I heard Rick said he's going to come and help you. I'll be all
Oh
right.
yeah, he owes me. He owes me some days' labour, I reckon.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, mate. Thank you so much for jumping on. And yeah, we'll talk to you again soon.
No worries. Thank you very much.
All right. So next up in second place, we have an angler dropping his 3 fish on Saturday, weighing 1.35, backing it up on the Sunday with a much better bag at 1.93, giving him a total of 3.28. And second place, I have Greg Crevitt. Welcome back to the show, mate.
Thank you, Andrew. Happy to be here again.
Happy to be here. Happy to be here on your happy birthday, mate.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's my birthday today and Brother Dave's birthday, obviously. So it's celebrating.
So good. Mate, Foster was an interesting round this year. I thought, obviously, for me, pretty tough fishing, but you obviously found a few.
Yeah, it was still tough fishing. Find a few. I got a few on pre-fish day, but really the only for day one and day two, they were basically the only fish I caught. To be honest, I only upgraded once in the whole tournament, so it
Right, okay.
wasn't a field day at all. It was
Okay.
hard. It was tough.
So on pre-fish day, did you work out any sort of patterns that helped you out?
Pre-fish day, yeah. So we launched down at Wallace Lakes at the quays, the canals. So we put in there up just in front of the canals and paddled out through is it Poppers Bay, is it?
Piper's Bay, yeah.
Poppers Bay. Our plan was to hit the weed beds and the banks. Every other year we've been up into the racks and up to Tuncurra, and we thought we'll give Wallace Lake a bit of a crack, something that's very similar to us at the Lake Macquarie, which is the flats and weed beds. So we thought we'll give that a test.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it similar fishing to how you'd fish at home on Lake Macquarie?
Pretty similar, yes. It wasn't as deep, but like I was saying earlier, the high tides weren't very high, to be honest. So probably the depth is a little bit different to Foster to Lake Macquarie, but overall, very similar. Very similar, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay. All right. Let's roll straight into comp day. So you said you only got 3 fish. So tell us what you did to get them, or 4 fish maybe.
On the first day, yeah, I only got four fish over. No, was it four? Yeah, no, 3 fish on the first day.
Okay.
So we paddled down to Piper's Bay there and straight into the sandbanks. Probably took about an hour and a bit, hour and a half or something, hour and
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Yeah,
So
wow.
yeah, it's a fair hike, but it's not too bad actually. It's a bit of a cruise down. So once you get down there, we hit this bank where I did on pre-fish. Yeah, so straight away, about third cast, I hooked up on crank,
Yeah.
a 600 grammer straight away. So
Wow.
yeah, and I said, because we did have a pretty good pre-fish day down there, and
Yeah.
we didn't fish it crazy, but we done a lot of areas in Wallace Lake, which is quite a big area,
Yeah.
and hit most banks we could and most wee beds, and this is the one we wanted to crack onto. So yeah, third cast, I thought 600 gram on my way. It's going to be a good day. Yeah, so we'll basically see the weed edge along the banks and targeted, and you could see the water where the weeds were sitting on top, and it was too shallow to go straight through to the weeds. You're just getting clogged up all the time, so we were just trying to get as close as possible.
Okay.
And landed that one. Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say 600 grammer first fish first day. You'd be like, all right,
Yeah.
here we go.
I said, yeah, that's right. That was about 8:30, so I said, oh, here we go.
Yeah, that's it. Only downhill from here.
Yeah. A little bit like that. So I fished this bank for another 2 hours.
Yeah, right.
Sure, we got some fish, but they weren't legals. There was a lot of 24s and 25s, but nothing like the day before. No massive numbers. I only got 3 legal fish on this day. Yeah, so I fished that bank for another 2 hours, and that would have close to 10:30ish. And I was fishing on the Forster side of the canal, and then I said, I'll go on the other side, because I went down as far as I could and waited for the tide to turn, which wasn't much down there.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the tide to come go back out. So we drift down the other side. So as soon as I went over there, we found another bed that we liked. Yeah, straight away. As soon as I cast in there, it was only a 390. It was a second fish. So
good.
I'm happy with that. And yeah, just straight into that. And got one almost straight after, like within 2 casts. It was my third keeper, and that was a 360. And
wow.
And this all happened basically in the first 3 casts, and when I first got there, and then 2 casts at 10:30, and that was it.
And that was your day. Wow.
That was my day.
Okay.
Sure, I drifted all the way down along that edge and drifted slowly back to the ramp. That's a long way there, but that's what I did the whole way, and that was it. It was a pretty dismal day.
Yeah, that's crazy. And what crank were you throwing? What was the...
Since we went down to Wallaga Lake, where we had that live with the guys and that on stage, and we were talking about making painting your own cranks and everything. So brother Dave, he said, "Oh, let's get a board in. We'll get some cranks and start painting, and it's for fun, something to do, and what we do up here at Lake, and just roll cranks everywhere." But I remember from last year when I was rolling cranks up in Tuncurry, I had this really clear one.
Yeah.
With a prawn imitation, and because it's clear water.
Yeah.
And I got an 800 gram up there, and I thought, it's clear water. I said, Dave, why don't we just use a blank crank, like as in no paint, no nothing. We just put 2 blue eyes on it, and we threw a couple of trebles in it, and I used that the whole tournament, and caught all my fish on this. Yeah, just a blank crank.
On a clear crank. And why blue eyes?
I love blue eyes. I love blue eyes on me cranks.
Fair enough.
I know, got no idea. It just standed out. Like honestly, when you put it in the water and you got this clear see-through crank, and all you can see is these 2 eyes just cruising through, and
wow.
And that was they had obviously the balls in it, like for the rattle. You could look like part of the body. So it looked really good.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to call it the lazy crank, mate.
Yeah,
couldn't be bothered to paint it.
Yeah, probably. We were calling them Nathan Cleary and Ivan Cleary.
Oh, that's right. You did say.
Yeah. I just rolled them. I rolled one of them the whole weekend, and that was it. That's all I used. I changed it out on the second day, but it was the same crank kind of thing. Yeah, that's what I used.
That's crazy. It's funny because you did tell me that at the weigh-in, and I had forgotten until I just asked. I went, that's right. This is a good story.
Yeah, it worked. It caught a lot of fish. It caught all my fish on the whole weekend, basically.
Yeah,
I was only 7 fish caught on the comp days, but on the pre-fish day we caught a lot. So yeah, all on that crank. So I stuck with that.
Yeah, no, and that's pretty good. To be fair, I was just looking through the bags. There's only about half the field not quite half the field got full bags.
Yeah.
So
it was a tough day.
Yeah, that's right.
Like they weren't massive fish, but it was a bag.
Okay, that's interesting because I caught when I was up there, and I'll go do this later, I guess, but I caught a lot of 25s.
Yes, yeah.
Like ones that I went, I'll measure it and go, no.
No. Yeah, there was plenty there, but just not on the comp days, not at all.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, where'd that have you overnight? 1.35?
I think it had me 17th place, which is a fair whack down.
Yeah, that's right. 17th, you'd normally say that's out of touch.
Yeah, it was out of touch, but in the same constant, like the winning bag on day one was just over 2 kilos, really.
That's right.
Really, if you going to get a decent bag the next day, and they struggle, which a lot of people did, anything could happen.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much exactly what happened. So
Yeah, yeah,
your bags are almost reversed. There's only 100 grams between you.
yeah, that's right. So I was still positive. I was just had to be lucky.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, let's go into Sunday. What was your plan? I guess it was run straight back up there.
Mate, it was just straight back up there. And, mate, it was dead set. It was like a mirror image day of what it was on the first day. I just went down to that same bank, got down there at 8:30, and no joke, within about 2 or 3 casts, got a 600 straight off the bat.
No.
Fair dinkum. It was the same lure, same exact area because I marked it on my sounder. I said, oh, this is a deep edge here prior to going to the bank. So I cast it at that weed edge and, mate, bang, straight away, 600. I said, oh, today might turn around. They might be on again.
Yeah. Yeah, no, very good. All right, so that's number one.
Yeah, that was 600. Yeah, that was great. But you got that in early. You're all hyped up. You think we're going to go through them all here. Again, on the same bank, fish for another 2 hours without even getting a fish. Unbelievably, you would think that there'd be something around that time and that early in the morning, and you get one straight away, and you get
nothing. And what was your plan? Were you still trying to cast right to the edge of the weeds? And
I couldn't go right onto the weeds. So I really wanted to go in there. I sneaked in there a couple of times, and you just couldn't even pedal through it. It was just that thick ribbon. You couldn't even go in there. I tried to get over top of that and go onto the bank on the other side, and I couldn't even move. So I just backed out of there again and just fished the edge again. It was the only way you could fish it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd done that for another 2 hours. I did catch fish, but nothing legal. They were all just like tiddlers, mate. Like unbelievable. So I just waited for the tide to turn again, basically 11 o'clock. Which was, the tide just doesn't give you any warning there. It just turns. There's no still. It just goes. So I went straight across the other side where I did exactly the same on the Saturday. Went straight over there. Good bank. It was really good bank. And first cast again, bang. Got an 8:30. And I thought, wow, the hell, what am I doing? I should have been over here most of the day. But I thought that other bank was going to work for me. Is when you get a fish straight away, you hang around that area, obviously. That's it. And I went straight over the other side and got an 8:30 straight off the bat. And I thought, oh, that's good enough.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good enough. And then another 2 casts later, I got a 480.
Stop it.
Yeah, straight away. And it was exactly the same as Saturday. I couldn't believe it. And it was about the same time, about 11:30. And I had my bag there and then, and I was just drifting back like I did the other day along the edge. I was picking up the smaller ones. Nothing's going to upgrade it until I got to, it was a fair way up. It was almost up to where the racks start coming into the channel up there further up.
Yeah.
And I upgraded. I got one upgrade and at that end, and it was a 500 grammer. So it went from like 480 to 500, which got me 1.93.
That also got you second or third.
That's right.
Or third to second, sorry.
It was only like 30 grams or something, 20.
Yeah, that's right. There's only 30 grams between you. Oh, you would have been close. But
anyway.
I
would have been close. Would have been very close. It was only like a 20 gram upgrade or something. So
yeah, a 20 gram upgrade.
Yeah, I know.
Would have depended which way the scales went.
It depends which way the scales went. Exactly right. So that was basically me. I got 3 fish on the Saturday and 4 on the Sunday.
Wow.
I was just crossing my fingers on the way home saying top 10 would be great or whatever.
Yeah, mate. It not only did you top 10, but if Brendan had done just a little bit worse, well, you would have won it, which would have been an interesting comeback.
Yeah, that would have. Anyway, I was shocked to get second, and I'm happy to get second. So it was, it was great.
Very good, very good. And just out of interest, what sort of lines and leaders were you running?
Lines and leaders, I was using straight through fluorocarbon, the J braid finesse.
Yep, the pink one.
Yep, the 3 pound.
Yep, very cool.
So I just use that. I use one rod and an infeed rod and one lure, and that's it.
And one lure. And did you lose the lure at all? Did you have to replace it?
No, I didn't. I didn't lose the lure.
Oh, that's mental.
I got that sitting on my fridge.
There you go. Oh, that is very cool. Very cool.
It was an interesting comp, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, mate, second place. Very cool. What did you get to take home?
$1,010. which is bloody good weekend, I'd say.
Yeah, very tidy. Did you would have got a prize pack as well and some...
Yeah, prize pack I got stuff from Dora, Anaconda voucher there, and Pro Lures. I've got some clonies, TTs, Hurricane, Sprats, and yeah, it's what you need. And they're all good. I'll use all that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's all good stuff. So yeah, and Atomic sponsored the round. They got a hat and a few of their lures. So good on them.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
All right, mate, last thing before we shoot off, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Oh, you got to say thanks to the wife. It's the first thing you say. Everybody says it, but I know it's cliche. But without her, I probably wouldn't be doing these weekends. And she lets me. That's what I do, and she lets me do that. And obviously, the Hobie boys, and the competitors, they all come to these comps. It was a pretty standard good comp. So I like all the guys that come to it. So it's why I do it. So that's great.
Very good. All right, mate. Look, congratulations on another great result.
Thank
You must be going pretty well in AOI this year, I'd imagine.
Yeah, probably doing something. Yeah,
Yeah, I'd have to have a look. But
Yeah.
yeah. All right, very good, mate. Look, thanks for jumping on again, and hopefully we get to have a chat after the next one.
No problems. Thank you very much for having me, Andrew.
Thank you, mate.
Okay, bye.
Okay, so finally, coming in first place, I have an angler dropping 3 fish on Saturday weighing 2.02, backing it up on the Sunday with 3 fish for 1.36, giving him a total of 3.38. And his first win, I have Brendan Pieschel. Welcome to the show, mate.
Hey, Andrew, thanks. Great to be back.
You're back again.
Back
and it
in
hasn't been
short
that long.
succession, too. I can't believe it.
I know, mate. I know. And you're the newest member of the collective as of right now.
Yeah, cool. All right. There's a lot of firsts. I'd like to keep that run if I could.
How good is that? How good is that? Oh, mate, to be fair, mate, I was very happy to see you win. Like the first win, any win is good, but the first win is extra special.
Yeah, it's taken a while. And honestly, I didn't think I'd be sitting there either Saturday or Sunday until about, 2:05 or whatever it was, until I realised what was happening.
Yeah. I was going to say, we'll get into it, but Saturday would have been interesting.
Yeah.
You got the second biggest bag. So, all right. Pre-fish, mate, what did you get up to? Did you get out and have a look around?
Yeah, pre-fish was a no-go for me this time. Unfortunately, my wife had been sick for the week and had been in hospital. So it was, I wasn't even doing the competition until Friday night. Yeah, the decision was made Friday night just to go for it, and get out, and she was coming home, so everything was looking good.
Yeah.
So I needed something just to clear my head, and more better way to do it.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
So yeah,
so
straight into
coming
it.
cold. When was the last time you fished Forster, or what was your plan leading in?
My plan was to go down there and get a pre-fish just prior to our what do you call it?
The pre-fish ban.
Pre-fish ban, but I'd done the AFT. I think that was about the 28th of March. I think it was.
Yeah.
I had a good result there. So I thought I could couple those two together and come up with a bit of a plan. But yeah, once life got in the way, I just went back to the drawing board on very late on Friday night, packed my gear and just went for it.
Yeah, and you're close enough to drive there, so you're not packing to go away.
No, that's it. And most of my gear's fairly well packed in the trailer anyway, so that was the only reason. If it was further than Forster, I wouldn't have come.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so before you hit the water, what was your plan? Where were you going to head to?
Pretty much on the previous comp, I've been in the area of the Wollamba. I like to hit the Wollamba River, the Clongalook River, and around the big island there. I'm just bringing up my map at the moment. Cockatoo Island, I think it is it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Cockatoo Island. Kind of usually do a lap around that kind of island area just to kind of figure out if there's any patterns, or I've got a few favourite little spots here and there that produce regularly. So I thought I'd just do the kind of milk run as such, hopefully it would pay off.
Okay. And when you say you do a lap around the island, what sort of structure is that? Are you fishing like natural banks?
Yeah, it's got everything in there. You've got your oyster leases, your oyster sheds, rails, and as we know now, the kind of trays are getting replaced by those little baskets. So there's baskets and rails there, so figuring them out. Rocky edges, you've got everything. You've even got a bit of deep water in some of those back channels as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So it really depends on the fish on the day what happens. So I treated day one as a fast pre-fish, but I was just looking to get fish in the well to start with.
Okay, so tell us how it started.
Okay, so I just did the paddle straight across, got straight into places I knew fish were previously, and I just got into the oyster leases and the oyster sheds and started throwing plastics. And when I first got there, I was just getting ready and a couple of people beat me to where I wanted to fish. But the tide was
Ouch.
drifting. It's all good. That never bothers me anyway. So I just waited, let the water clear a bit, and then I threw an aqua into near one of the sheds and I got a legal first cast. So straight
Really?
in the well,
No.
first
Stop
lure to
it.
touch the water. It was absolutely like it should be.
How big? What sort of fish
Oh,
was it?
it was probably about 27 centimetre tip. It was big enough to go in the well. So I knew that, just measured it quickly, threw it in the live well, and I thought, this is it. Two more casts and I can head home. And
Oh, yeah, okay.
and that was it. So I thought it was going to be good. It
Yep.
quietened down very much so straight on the next cast. I didn't get another bite for quite a while.
Okay.
Moving through some of the, like, around those places through the racks and sheds, I was just throwing plastics, trying to figure out what was going on. And I couldn't see any fish. I didn't see any big fish follow up after that.
Yeah.
I was a little bit concerned, but I'd spoken to some of the guys about their pre-fish, and everybody seemed to have said that they saw plenty of fish, lots of big ones, and they'd caught plenty. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm just not in the right spot. The
Yeah.
water was quite low. But on the drive down in the morning, I did notice that the moon was very bright early and it looked like it'd been up most of the night. So I started thinking, had the fish been up feeding all night? Was it going to get clearer through the day? Were they going to disappear? So that was in the back of my mind. So I thought I'd just keep moving. So I moved. I have a spot I like to go up the Willampa River a bit and fish, but the recent floods pretty much destroyed that whole little ledge I used to have. It's just sand now. So I looked into the shallow water and there were quite a few mullet, probably within the first 300 metres. I was moving up with the tide. There were big schools of mullet. So I thought, I'll tie on a bent minnow and start flicking around those and see if I can get anything going on other than a mullet.
Yeah.
And and I ended up pulling out, I think, 3 whiting to start with,
Oh.
which were nice whiting too. And I persisted. I thought, all right, there's something going on. There's activity at least.
Yeah.
And then I started catching a few bream and I started getting a few boils, but they were very non-committal. They wouldn't come back. And then as I got over some rails, there was seemed to be more activity around rails for me. So I had a bit of confidence with throwing some lures across there. And I managed to get a bag fairly quickly off some rails in a close area, all relatively small fish, probably about the 350, 400 grammers, which were very average by what I was expecting, but
Yeah.
not what we would eventuate. And I think by that time I was probably down around the area of where the Willampa feeds into the Klungla at the bottom end.
Yeah.
And thought I could go and have a look at Costafine, is it Costafine Island, which is a pretty popular spot where everyone gets to. It's a big sandy kind of island with racks, rails.
Racks around it.
Yeah, it's beautiful and very clear sometimes. And I started moving around there and started fishing on the edge, and I got 1 or 2 fish, the occasional one, but it was just no size in them. They were always all the same size. So I'm thinking, they're just further up, and I've got to just get into big ones eventually. And then coming along to one of my favourite spots in there, which is in close proximity, won't give up, and it was spot X. I got onto there and just nothing, though. I couldn't see a fish, not a touch, not off anything I threw. I was throwing like crabs, aquas, plastics, and crankbaits. And crankbaits
so,
were all working for me.
And so you've already got a full bag by now, haven't you? You've got a bag of small
I had a
fish.
full bag by probably 8 o'clock, I'd say.
Okay. And you filled it out on bent minnows, is that right?
Yeah, bent minnows were probably most of them come on bent minnows, but I probably caught 2 or 3 on atomic cranks, because I always say about having a bit of Joe for your sponsor.
It's sponsor karma, yep.
Yes, the sponsor karma came in, so I did trust. I thought it'd be a crankbite, honestly, when I got there. And so I did get a few fish there, and the bents just seemed to be getting bigger boils off bigger fish, and I'd get the occasional, but I just could not hook a decent fish.
Yeah.
And I think I had 2 chances before in rails where I'd hooked good ones on plastics, but I just had no chance of stopping those ones, so I was just pulling too hard. And I was running 8 pound then. But once they pull you around a rail and there's some oysters, once there's abrasion, you lose your line pretty quick.
Yeah.
So I kept going down and I got onto one of the edges and I was just moving along some shallow water, and I think it was just one little rock I could see. So I threw a crankbait at it, and as soon as it hit it, my best fish took it. And I finally got that in. They all played dirty, typical Forster fish. Every single fish turned sideways, ran everywhere. This thing was banging on poles and had me all tied up. But I got him to the kayak, and I never weighed him. But eventually that was the 630 grammer.
Okay,
He
solid
was.
fish.
So, yeah, that was a good fish for the day. But once again, I'm thinking this is Forster. That's pretty average. Honestly, I was thinking more like a 800-gram fish would be the average for everybody. So we'd have these 3 kilo bags potentially,
Yes.
2.4 kind of minimum. So I'm thinking at this point of time, I've got no chance. And I was actually considering paddling home at that point of time and see if I
Pulling the
could wait.
pin.
Yeah, I just thought it might be over by now. And about that time, I think it's when the tide was changing and the wind had started to pick up. I thought once the wind picks up, maybe they'll work on the edges a bit. And once again, just kept getting the occasional fish. I did see a few kind of congregations of fish around some poles. And I
Sure.
thought, if I'll keep moving, but tomorrow I'm going to come and sit in there because I know they're there and they may be deeper. So I'm starting to think, are all the fish deeper? I'm just my mind's playing against me. I can't see any other people out there fishing, and the people I'm talking to have only got one or two small fish. So I'm in your head, back of your mind, you've got these people sitting in the racks, poling in these 3 kilo monsters, kind of thing. And I'm thinking, okay, I'll just keep going. Do what you do. Just don't worry about anyone else. You've got your fish in the well. Just trying to find an upgrade now. Trying to find those kicker fish.
Okay, so like you were saying, I think that we dropped out there. So the wind was just sort of coming up.
Yeah, just as the wind came up, I thought the crankbite might start again. So I moved back around some of the little islands, I think like around Mosquito Island, and started fishing a crankbait on the shallows. And even though it was pretty clear and I couldn't see fish, I ended up getting quite a few fish. So it was about that time, I think, upgraded. I got another couple of 400s, or like just over the 400s, and that kind of filled my bag. And that was where I sat. So after that, with the wind being the way it was, and I thought I'd just do the run back to the way I came and probably go a bit more gnarlier into some structure because I was starting to think, are they just deeper in rails or are they under baskets? And fished my way back and got a few little fish, mainly on surface again. The surface kind of was my standout.
Yeah, wow.
And nothing on the cranks in some of the spots I usually catch a lot of fish.
Mm.
And so by the time I'm paddling back there, I'm, looks like I'm going to be sitting. If I get top 20, I'd be really happy. I didn't know where I'd be. And that was it. And paddled the whole way back and got back probably half hour earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, tried to look for fish on the way back. Just didn't see anything on structure. Didn't see anything on the sounder. So it was just getting really, I was really weirded out by it. It wasn't standard Forster.
No, that's interesting because when I did the pre-fish, I found the further upriver I got, the less fish I saw, but I didn't get up as far as where you were.
Yeah.
Because they started to thin out. So I went, okay, they must be in the bottom.
Yeah, yep.
So,
that's exactly what I started thinking as well.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So look, you ended up with 202 kilos, which had you nicely in second, which you would have been cheering about, I'd imagine.
Oh, I don't know how I was feeling, honestly, Andrew. I said Forster is never nice to me, and at not one stage during this comp did I feel confident.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just really. I was getting lots of little fish. So I'm thinking that everybody else must be catching better. Sure,
Yeah.
it's Forster. There's always going to be that one person who comes with a 3 kilo bag.
Yes.
And,
yeah. And to be fair, I think the thing that was missing was there was no big fish caught. Like a 900 or so grams took out big brim, so no one got a kilo fish.
So many fishers to not catch a big one. It's really strange.
That's right. So you look at it like that. There's 65 fishermen, which is 130 days on the water.
Yeah,
no kilo fish.
Yes.
So yeah,
and they were, and we were everywhere. Like there were people fishing everywhere, every different type of lure. It was just look. I'm sure plenty were hooked. There's a few you never know, the ones you don't catch, of course, but I'm sure people lost plenty. I lost a few on day one that may have been either angrier or larger than the fish I had, but not in the quantities. And
fair enough.
To be sitting second with that bag in Forster just had me standing there shaking my head.
Yeah.
Watching weigh in and just hearing 1.5 kilo bags just consistently, it was just I think everybody was weirded out by it.
Absolutely. All right, so we roll into Sunday. Rinse and repeat is the same plan.
Yeah, well, Sunday I kind of changed it a bit. I thought that us speaking to everyone, seeing how difficult it was, I thought I'll go out. I reckon I could get a bag in the same kind of area, the same way as I did day one. And it was just about runs on the board. I always set my goal as top 20. If I can maintain a top 20, it's good AOY points. And I don't get stressed out by anyone else or whatever. And speaking to some of the other fishers, some of the people have hooked big fish. Luke Rogan had, obviously lost a lot of big fish, which was what happens when we fish in that kind of going for those big ones in those bad places.
That's right.
And with that in mind, I upgraded my gear because I'd lost a couple of fish, but it was mainly I was using 8 pound leader, so I upped it to 14 pound.
Yeah.
On day two, and that I'm really going to push the surface bite because it was, and just get into some gnarlier kind of structure. I had noticed that lots of fish that I caught mainly were in those rails, and I thought I'm just going to push deeper into more inaccessible rails. One
Yeah,
other thing
wow.
I did notice though was that even though there were high tides, the high tides were very low, and a lot of the
Yes.
places I'd fished before were still exposed at high tide. So whether that coupled with the bright moon the night before had made the fish, change their mind and go deeper or whatever. Yeah, we'll never know, I suppose.
I think so. I mean, I think it's a good theory. I think they feed up at night, and then the tide didn't get high enough for them to get out of their deep water haunts very well. Whereas normally they'd be rushing up into the mangroves and around the shallow rock bars and stuff, which didn't really happen.
No, 100%. There was still a lot of water movement, and I did find, most of the fish activity was in that more moving water or the just the denser racks.
Yeah, okay. Tell us how
Yeah.
you put a couple together.
All right, so I just ran the same path as I did, but I kind of went straight back to the spots that were producing. I lost one or I think it was two good fish around the sheds straight away. Just had no chance of stopping them. It was game over before it started, and that kind of got me a bit annoyed. I paddled back then to a set of racks that I'd found, and I'd caught the fish, and there was still mullet moving around as well. So I thought I'd stick to what had worked on day one. Tied on my bent minnow. I use bent minnows mainly. I think I may have thrown a dilemma popper as well at some point of state. Just a popper in those windy circumstances. And I got into the rails and I started catching a few little fish again. Got my bag quickly and thought, right, they need to be much bigger. I want that 600 average today if I could.
Yes.
Would have been nice. And then moved, just hung around some rails where I really just dedicated some time and was confident that it would work. And I did get a lot of fish come up, but either they wouldn't take bait or I couldn't bring the lure back. And I tried to work it and make them chase the lure across a few rails at least. So I only had to fight half the rails back because the wind would blow it across 7 rails. And I thought if I could hook one, I could just scull drag it, break the surface tension, and skim it back to the kayak. And still just had that average bag, but I don't even think I weighed them because they were all roughly on the balance beam. They look pretty much the same. So I just kept the 400s and thought it must be about 1.2-ish.
Yeah.
Moved back around to the Costafine Island again to my magic spot, and it didn't produce again. Still nothing there. It was still barren. And even the schools of fish I'd seen weren't there anymore. So it had me more concerned as what's going on. Are they moving upriver? So I threw a vibe, one of the baby vibes. I just thought something different. And as soon as it hit the bottom, it took off. And the first cast, I'm like, this is it. I've figured it out now.
Yep.
And then that was the last. It was a squeaker, got him into the kayak, and then I cast for about another 20 minutes and nothing, no interest at all. So, a bit of false hope. And it's just, as I said, Forster just plays with you the whole weekend. So I come back around and concentrating, doing a lap around Cockatoo Island and coming back up the kind of the Wallace Creek side, the southern side of it on the day two. And I thought, I know there's heavier rails and racks around between Marcella Bay and Club Island, that kind of area. So I thought I'll go through there and just go deeper. I can't see fish anywhere else. They have to be in the rails.
Yeah.
So I tied on the 14 pound onto the rod, and I'm going. I don't like doing it because I don't want to commit that hard, but it was all or nothing. And then I got into the rails, and I think it was about probably 10:30. I'd cemented myself to a 500-meter area. I said, "This is it. They're in there. I'm going to get them." And then that's when Forster really gave it to me, and I was down. I think I was down 6 bent minnows.
Oh.
And the dilemma popper by the end of it with no fish. Like,
Oh, wow. Wow. Welcome to Forster.
yeah, it was classic. Not to say they were all huge fish, but they were certainly a better bag than I brought in.
But were
Uh,
you
yeah.
you were casting across the rails?
I was casting down the rails, across the rails, and I would get them follow, 3 or 4 rails across, and then they'd take it hard. And only one fish I had any success on, and I ended up skimming him to the kayak. And then as he got to the net, he dived under the net and under the rail next to me and cut me straight
Oh,
off. So it was
oh.
heartbreaking, but
Okay, okay. So we need to stop there. So when you're losing 5 and 6 and 7 bent minnows and stuff, what's the feeling like on the kayak? Are we swearing? Are we laughing?
no, I try to stay civil
Yep.
because I'm only going to hurt myself out there pretty much. My tackle box was empty, so there were no bents to throw. I'd pretty much out of surface lures by that point of time, and I just convinced myself that was as good a bag as I was going to get, and at least I had a bag.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah.
so once again, I'm thinking, probably if I can hold the top 25 now from first
Yep.
to 25th, that could be, a monster loser pretty much. I could have been.
Yep.
And that was the end of the day. Paddled back. I stopped off in the paddocks and a few other spots, throwing everything I could anywhere, and still didn't see any fish and didn't have any more bites after I left that area.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that was, nice and quiet, and a long, quiet paddle home.
Yep.
Good
Yep.
run with the tide, though. At least the tide was with us, so that was
The
nice.
tides were nice. The tide, in terms of that, the tides were nice. I must admit, I was not nearly as tired as normal after the comp day.
Oh no, when you get out of the harbour and get into the treadmill, it's not fun.
Exactly. Okay, so this is what I've got. I think you've got a bunch of your fish on bent minnows over the 2 days. You got a couple on plastics. What sort of plastics were you throwing at them?
They would have been. I only throw 2 ever down there. That's bait chunky grubs in motor oil and bloodworm.
Okay.
One or the other. Yeah, I try and keep my plastics pretty simple because I've got enough lures to carry. They generally work if you cast in the right spot.
Okay.
And
What jigger do you put in them?
between 1/12 and 1/20th, depending on the current. So I
Okay.
think most of those are pretty close to the edge on 1/16th because they're pretty buoyant. I like the sink rate on those.
Yep.
And the shallow cranks, the only one I used was the Atomic Shallow 38 in Ghost Gill Brown, is it?
Yep. And the stripy one. Yep.
Yep, that's one of the prawn kind of looking one I'm confident with.
Yeah.
And I may have thrown a black pro lure at some point as well, but it was very limited in the number of lures I used because it just seemed to be that the reaction towards the surface lures was just superior.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And if you had to go back and do it again?
Yeah, 20-pound leader, maybe,
You
a bit more skill would probably help.
You might need a 14-foot rod, mate, so you can lift them.
Yeah, maybe one of those little Buddha statues I could rub because I needed some. Just there was no luck out there this time. Usually you'll get one out of them, but they just handed it to me.
Maybe we could get you a Paul Maloff sticker and you can rub his head.
Mate, I won't say that silly. I'll do anything for a fish, like really.
Fair enough. All right, I'll see what we can do. All right. So look, all in all, you came back and you kind of just made it there. You've just above Greg.
100 grams, or is it somewhere? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 100 grams. And
100 grams.
his day and your days were almost opposite. I think he got 1.35 Saturday, you got 1.36 Sunday, and then you had 2.02, he had 1.93. So they're kind of very similar.
Very similar.
So
Look, that competition was anyone's any day. I was expecting somebody to come back with a big bag, but with the field, really it was over half the field were in play on day 2.
that's right. Well, you look at the overall bag, 3.38. Someone could get that for one day.
One person coming out of the racks with a good run is going to beat that any day.
Yep, 3 kilo fish could happen, but that doesn't matter because you got it.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll take it. Don't worry about that. Anyway. But it's still, as I said, I didn't expect it until the last of the weigh-in. You're expecting that one person to weigh in last with a huge bag.
Yep.
Usually a Glenn Allen or someone like that, or Simon Morley.
Oh, Jack Gammy. Oh.
Yeah, Jack. And you're standing there away and just watching these bags come. Like, surely there's got to be this monster fish. And then, then Brad Hart's wasn't going to even weigh his fish. He didn't think it'd be 800.
Yes, yeah, and end up going 900 even.
There you go, taking it off young James Kilpatrick, who had tipped me by 10 grams, I think, for
I think
victory.
so. Yeah, I think I saw that happen.
Yeah, that was unreal.
That's it. Well, there you go. All right, mate. Well, so in terms of prizes and what have you, what did you get to take home?
Oh, my best check. Yeah, it was a really, really good payday. A check, $1,945,
Lovely.
which nearly paid for the Bent Minnows and the
Yes, that's
fuel.
right.
And the car takes a bit of fuel, you know that. What else we get? Sponsor pack. Atomic also gave me a voucher as well, which let me resupply a couple of my Atomic cranks.
Yep.
A couple of Anaconda vouchers. Podium trophy with number 1 on it, which is much larger than my number 2. So to get 2 in such a short period of time, I just can't believe it. Very, very, very happy with that. And that's that was it. Yeah,
that was you.
Oh, and sorry, no, and then of course the rod, the St. Croix rod.
You did. Well,
Forgot about that. How could I forget about that?
Yeah.
I've been watching those at the weigh-ins and think, geez, I'd love to have a go on one of those. And now I've got it. It just looks awesome. So it's ready to go for Sydney.
And what sort of weight is it? Is it a light rod or a heavy rod?
It's a panfish rod. So
okay, so small.
Small. It's I think it'd be a nice crank rod. Yeah, that's what I'm going to see how it goes. So.
Yeah, with an amazing warranty on those too. So
yeah.
So yeah.
So really, I was really, really happy to get that as well. But look at trophies and novelty checks are my kind of thing, and real checks are good though. Don't worry, they pay for the bills.
That's it, exactly. All right, mate. Look, last thing before we shoot off, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to or say thank you to?
Well, firstly, I think just thank you to everyone that reached out after the comp and just congratulated me. It was really nice to get that. And we don't do it. It's nice to get a belly rub off the people. To the HWS team, always good bunch of boys fighting it out, and especially seeing young James Kilpatrick come through and tail up his dad was good. I didn't like him beating me on Big Brim too much. Also, the major sponsors make these events happen. So without them, we're nothing. To all the competitors who give up their time, travel, families, thank you to them as well. And especially to some of the new ones. I did see today in a post, I think Luke Rogan's wife, Sue, has she got a kayak?
Yeah, I think they got a sport.
I saw that, so we can record that now. So, things like that, seeing the sport grow and a lot of new competitors.
Yep.
It's good, and the youth especially coming through, except when they beat us, like to James Kilpatrick, don't beat me by 10 grams again, please. And to see a couple of guys returning as well. That's it. Look, to all the major sponsors, they're the ones who put the money behind. Chris and the team, they know how much we appreciate what they do. They're just excellent at what they do. Just a fish, Forster, please. Even just give me something one day, even a win. You can't let me believe it, but I had a great time. It was just good to catch up with everybody after I had a pretty bad couple of weeks. That was a good way to end it.
Yeah.
And looking forward to the rest of the year.
100%, mate. And the win, mate, you'll get a few weeks out of the buzz of winning, I reckon. First win.
It's getting to the sharp point now with the AOY, so no time to back off now. I've got to be serious now. But look, we all go there to win, but it's just fishing that brings us together. And just look forward to catching up with everybody at Sydney. Should be a good group house there. And then Lake Mac, Goldie, Malakuta.
Yeah.
So I think I'll be in for all of them.
Okay. Very
I'm
good.
on a roll. So, thank you, mate. Thank you for what you do as well.
Appreciate it.
Enjoying this. Hope I can be regular on this, but I'll take my run of luck while it's here.
100%, mate. 100%. And in top position for this one. How good's that?
Yeah. So happy.
All right, mate. Look, congratulations again. Really enjoyed having you on the show. And, mate, I'll see you at the next round.
No worries. All right. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate.
See ya.
Okay, so that's it for the Forster round of the Hobie Fishing Series this year. Couple of things. Good to see Ryan Honeybrook up the top again. He's been very consistent across a couple of competitions or a few competitions for the last 12 months or 2 years. And he's done very, very well. Of course, Greg Krebit, he interviewed on his birthday, and which was also his brother's birthday. And, I was super grateful for that. When we booked it, I was unaware of that fact. So thanks for Greg for jumping on. And, of course, Brendan coming in first place. It's good to see guys like Brendan who have been around for a while, fished a bit, coming in, getting a couple of great results just on the show a couple of months ago, and then coming home with the big result at Forster. So I was really, really happy to see that. And yeah, well done, Brendan. All right, as for my week off, so what the plan was is I kind of felt like I needed a break. I did try to do this a couple of weeks earlier so I could do it as a pre-fish for Forster, but as it turned out, the only time I could have gone pre the Hobie comp would have cancelled me out for the Hobie comp. So I went, all right, we'll do it afterwards. And for me, honestly, I had one of the quietest weeks I've had for a very long time anywhere. I just couldn't find them. It was an interesting time. I was staying with Mick Eddinghausen, and I did have the opportunity to go and jump on ET's boat, and they were filming some episodes up there, and I kind of declined because I decided I wanted to chase bream and I wanted to work Forster out a little bit. And I think they did 2 days or maybe 1 or 2 days up there off Crowdy, and there's an episode on it where Mick catches an absolute cracking jewfish right at the end of the episode. I think Andrew or ET dropped one previously, and then the next cast or a couple of casts later, Mick took a cracker. So it was really good to see that. My Forster experience this year was very quiet and a little bit disheartening. But in any case, still Forster, still clean water, and I did overall have a good time. So, all right, look, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I did. There's should be one more for tomorrow night. I haven't actually worked out which episode it is, so it'll be a surprise to all of us. Look, thanks for tuning in, and again, thanks for listening all the way through to the end, and I'll talk to you tomorrow on the Bream Fishing Project.
Thanks for listening to the Lure Fishing Project. For extra episodes, the Big Bream Series and more, join us at the Lure Fishing Project Collective. We'll catch you next time.